Of course, there are things that we already know. I try to avoid spoilers, but a lot of pages just tell you, especially on Facebook, they tell you the results. And so we're going to be watching that. And I know there's a segment. I don't know the results for the matches today, even though they were a week ago. I don't know the results of the matches, at least not that I remember. Hello, Jacob. Uh, but I know there's a segment with El Grande Mexicano, which is the way I call him in the videos, just to differentiate him from the other one. Hello, Nicholas. Yes, hopefully. The thing is, even though some people, you probably know already the results, but because it's recorded, they can add, and what they've been doing is they add certain segments that we don't know of. So it's not only the matches that we have to look out for, but also the segments to see what the stories, how they are developing. So we'll see about that. But like I was saying, gracias, el príncipe del hack. So there's a segment with El Grande Mexicano. I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen the pictures. I haven't seen the segment per se. I have seen pictures, but just as letting you know, there's going to be some luchadores from the old AAA, from the old AAA. So I'm going to be explaining who they are, because we've seen at least one of them in last Triple Mania. Probably a lot of people didn't know who he was, but fun fact, he was in the Royal Rumble of the 90s. It was in 97, I think, when AAA Luchadores went there. Hello, Aurelio. 9:30. Oh, it starts late for you, right? So 10 p.m. Well, it's kind of late. Yeah, there's a lot to learn from Lucha Libre. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to be explaining who the luchadores who appear in that segment are. That's not a pre-recorded segment they did in the backstage. It's a segment they did in the ring. There was one. So they are previous winners of the Rey de Reyes sword. That's when they're going to present the sword to El Grande Mexicano. There was one who was invited to appear there. Thank you, Paula. There was one who was invited to appear there who was Latin Lover. In one of the videos, I call him the Mexican Shawn Michaels, which some people found it funny. It was actually, there's some, in most videos, I try to put funny reference to fans who can recognize it. Like they understand, I'm seeing it seriously, but actually it's like something funny I'm trying to put there. Some people recognize it, sometimes people don't. Yeah, Latin Lover, especially right now in this era, his podcast era, he's doing really good. A lot of the things I've learned and I'm sharing with you in the videos, I've heard from the stories luchadores are finally telling in his podcast. And there's many podcasts right now, but his is the most popular one. One thing you have to know in Mexico, and I want to make a video about this, about kayfabe in Lucha Libre. Alan Stone, I think he still wrestles sometimes, but yeah, he pretty much disappeared. I think I live in the north of Mexico, so Lucha Libre is popular here, especially a little bit more in the north, in the border in Ciudad Juárez. Ciudad Juárez is a big city for lucha, but a lot of luchadores stay in the middle, the center and south of the country. So it's easier for them for travel distances. So most of the luchadores who end up coming to the north, at least my city, are very popular luchadores. We don't get those who are kind of popular, but don't draw a lot of audiences. Here, usually we get the ones that are very popular, which is fun, but you sometimes don't get to see a big variety of the luchadores because of that. You get to see the same luchadores over and over again. That's why I think I've said in the video, in the La Parca video, I saw La Parca, I don't know, like 20 times in my life, because he would come like 2 or 3 times a year. He was always the main star in AAA when they came here. Yes, there's a lot of story. Kansas City, hello, Paulo, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you this is the first live we make. This is the first live I've ever made in my life, so thank you. I'm going to try to improve the quality and the production side of the lives, because right now it's really simple. It's just my camera and my microphone, but I know I use OBS to record the videos. But I know you can also use it, of course, for streaming, and you can put like the chat on the screen and stuff like that. I don't know how to do anything like that. I've never done it. So yeah, just be patient with me. With if we keep doing this, I'll try to improve the production quality of the lives. Also, like making text appear on the screen and stuff like that. I don't know how to do that. I know the people use web pages and programs, but it's just a lot of time to learn that. Yeah, like Jacob is saying, the indies and AAA, it's the way that most cities in the country get lucha libre through them. So that's something I wanted to explain because probably, and let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you think. But AAA or a show including AAA stars is coming to my city in like 3 weeks, like in 3 Sundays. And my plan was going to go there and record a video and showing you like this is the differences. These are the differences of a show here, like a local show. Well, it's not local because the wrestlers mostly are coming from the other cities, and they are the stars of AAA or indie stars. There's LA Park is coming with his two sons, Hijo de Elia Park and Elia Park Jr. The new La Parca is coming, which I find really interesting because La Parca video has become the most popular video in the channel. And in one show, they're going to have the new Parca and the original Parca with his sons. So that's really interesting. No, CMLL also goes to other arenas, and they've come here to Chihuahua also, but it's not as common. It's not, at least here. But even to big cities like Monterrey, they don't go as often as AAA. But one thing I was going to explain in that video, if I end up making it, is how no, I've always respected LA Park. If you don't touch him, he doesn't touch you. The difference here is that most shows that not triple lucha libre shows, at least in cities like mine, which is most of the country, they include AAA stars and indie stars. So it's not a house show. That's why I wouldn't call them house shows. AAA doesn't do house shows. It's like they have televised events and events where they send their luchadores. So how it works with AAA is that you can just hire their luchadores, right? You call AAA, promoters call AAA and say, I would like these 5 luchadores. I think AAA asks, okay, but send me the whole card to see who other luchadores are going there because they have their restrictions. It would be like, well, we have a bad relationship with, now the case being with Niño Hamburguesa. So Niño Hamburguesa cannot be in that card. And they have to make sure there's no luchadores that they have beef with, basically. And they check it, and it's fine. Like if you only have like 2 AAA stars in that card, that's fine. They don't. It's not like AAA comes to your city and it's the AAA production, but it's not televised. That doesn't happen. Here is like a promoter. It's similar, I would say, to how with AEW stars. It's not like WWE. Like with WWE, they don't let their stars share a card with other indie stars, for example. It's more like AEW. You can hire them and they can go to your city. They have to check, of course, who is also wrestling there. And with CMLL, it's basically the same, but it's more controlled. And some people say, some promoters have said that CMLL doesn't draw as big a crowd as AAA. But I don't think it's because they're not as good or their production or whatever. Is that since they don't go out of their cities as often, which are Mexico City, 2 arenas there, Puebla, and Guadalajara. So I think it's three cities, 4 arenas. Since they rarely go out of there to cities like mine, people don't go as often. That's why. It's complicated, but yeah, you can hire CMLL stars as well and have them with indie stars. In Mexico, we don't have house shows per se. Let me read some comments here. Matamoros. I think, Jacob, I think they could get a CMLL show, but not a televised show, of course. It would be like I was saying, maybe 4 stars from CMLL could go there, and the rest of the card is just indies or local talent because they spend all their budget in the CMLL stars, so it could happen like that. Uh, Aurelio says, watching old matches from AAA, they seem to have a good roster. Now it's not bad, but it's small. Is El Messias still? Yes, Messias still with AAA. He appeared in the last Monterrey show, I think, with a new faction from people, other luchadores from Puerto Rico. And it seems like they are preparing for like a World Cup, but now with another name, because they had a faction of luchadores from Puerto Rico, and then also another faction with luchadores from Europe, I think, and they had Axiom and Axiom's tag team partner. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names, but him and this French luchador that is now appearing in NXT, the one with the mask. So they were a faction. Yeah, Nathan Frazier, and I think that was a dark match. Probably I didn't see that. So if it was a dark match, I think they're preparing for like a World Cup of Lucha Libre, which AAA already did. So in case they end up announcing like a World Cup, I'll make a video explaining the previous World Cup where they had Alberto Del Rio, Rey Mysterio, the original Místico as Mysticis, and a lot of wrestlers, luchadores. Yeah, it could happen, Jacob. That could be. Yeah, CMLL has their blacklist. AAA has their blacklist as well. Even indie promotions have their blacklists. So I think CMLL is seen as like very strict, but AAA also has like the rules are pretty strict, and sometimes people don't agree with that. The thing with CMLL is that it seems like their administration right now is very strict in some areas, but not in other areas. For example, like their partnership with AEW, they were criticizing that WWE bought AAA and stuff like that, but fans now are realizing that they're pretty much doing the same thing, giving the titles to people from AEW and all that. But there was I think it was the granddaughter of one of the owners who already died, and she was in charge for like a couple of months a few years ago. And that's hello everybody. And when she was in charge for a few months, it wasn't that long. That's when people really got excited with CMLL here in Mexico, because they were bringing Penta, Fenix. Before they were in the AEW, they brought LA Park again, and they were bringing like the top indie stars to CMLL, and the arena was getting full every week. And she was like that visionary, and luchadores talk very highly of her. But then her uncle, I think, was like, no, that's not the spirit of CMLL. He took charge, and then they went back to having almost the same matches every week. I think CMLL is really difficult to be watching every week. At least it has been for a while. It's really hard to watch it every week because it seems like it's almost the same matches every week, except for the big events. So yeah, I'm sorry if you're a really big fan of CMLL. Like, I've watched CMLL there are seasons that I watch it every week, and it gets to be like 4 versus 4, and it's the same wrestlers almost every week. Just one is in another match, and then they put another one, but it's almost the same, and it gets very repetitive. And there's, as you know, in CMLL, there's almost no story. So CMLL is like, we are proudly only Lucha Libre, the best Lucha Libre, but there's no story in most of their programming, and that makes it really hard to be watching the same matches every week. It gets like, well, I mean, they're amazing wrestlers and they're like the highest quality, but it's the same matches again and again, except for the big events. Like, it's like they remember storylines like a month before big events, and that's when you get the Mascara versus Mascara and all of that. And of course, watching them live, it's amazing. Like, if you can go to an event there, it's amazing. But it's because you're watching it live once. But if you watch it every week and it gets to this point where it's almost the same matches, it gets boring. So in the 2000s, I think it was really entertaining because the luchadores they had a lot of charisma and personality. So you had like the Perros del Mal, Pierrot, all these. They had great villains. That's the thing. and then it would be interesting because you would tune in to watch how they would do bad things to the technicals, right? So let me read some comments here. Sorry. How often does AAA do events in the F in Mexico City? It depends. If you're, I don't know if you're referring to these shows of like where AAA stars are, which I would say every week or more than once a week, like 2-3 times a week. But if you're referring to the events that they record or they stream live, like AAA, like today's event, I think they're doing it like once a month or once every 2 months, because they sometimes they go out to Puebla, like it is the case for Rey de Reyes. So they'll do the next show like in 2 weeks, I think. That will be live then, and then it will be 2 weeks what was recorded, and then again another show. If it's in Mexico City, then you will have basically 2 shows in 1 month. But if it's in another city, then you have to wait another 3 weeks, and they go back. So yeah, right now that's something they have to change. And I'm pretty sure people like Undertaker want to change that, because it's not good for surprises or main events. Like people that go live basically watch the main event in the first hour, and that's not fun. I mean, it's fun in the moment, but then the quality of the next matches are probably not the same. And then you have your highest point because of what's at stake. And then people are like, okay, this next match was really good, but I'm still thinking about the result of the previous one. Aurelio, AAA seems to be similar to WWE in a way, even prior, meaning that they are, basically, Antonio Peña based the company on how WWE was doing things, which is more spectacle, more show. That's why some of the main shows are named almost, well, you can tell they are inspired by WWE events, right? So Rey de Reyes was inspired by King of the Ring. They also have Verano de Escándalo, which is a summer of scandal, and it's basically inspired by SummerSlam. Triple Mania, inspired by WrestleMania. So yeah, he was pretty much inspired by WWE, definitely. And he took advantage of the fact that he had access to watching the shows or going to the shows in the United States. But people in Mexico were not really aware of what was going on there. So he took ideas from that and storylines and all of that. I don't know if you knew this, but there was a time that they had the Degeneration Mex instead of Degeneration X in AAA in 2000s. And they had X-Pac here. So he even would bring the wrestlers from WWE who were not WWE anymore, and he would do things like that. And they would come out with the same song and everything. One thing that was really fun was the use of music with copyrights. Like they didn't care. La Parca used to come out to Thriller, this thing with Degeneration Mex, which is really funny. Actually, I got to see X-Pac when they came to my city in a televised show. He had a match against Charlie Manson one-on-one, which it's not common to this day, one-on-one matches in AAA. Well, now they are because of WWE, but before they weren't. We call it mano a mano, hand and hand, mano a mano. So yeah, I got to see X-Pac, but at that moment I didn't know anything about him. He wasn't in WWE programming when I was watching WWE. That was before my time. So I later on learned who he was and everything. But yeah, I got to see him live, which is really interesting. Are the events in the DF bigger? Yes, definitely. I mean, if they are for TV, well, not TV anymore, right? But if they're going to be like the canon shows, yes, of course, they're a big production. If they're independent shows, it's a good production, but it depends on the arena. I wouldn't be able to tell you about that. The CMLL is more focused on matches and rivalry created in those matches. Yeah, like I said, CMLL remembers storylines when they're getting closer to big events. But before that, it's like you only see like, oh, he did something interesting. Is that supposed to mean something? It could, or it could not, because storylines are not important at that point in time. But yeah, I would have to keep watching it more like nowadays to tell if something has changed in that way. But yeah, but the quality of matches from the first match to the last match, if you go and watch a CMLL event in one of their arenas, that's really good. And the production level, of course, it's really good. Um, is it common also in Mexico to do often, or at least in similar to the Tres Caídas? It used to, but it's it's gotten more and more rare in the last 15 years. They do it a lot in live events, or at least they used to. I think it has changed because people got used to watching WWE with una caída, one fall. They don't even call it like that. Right? Well, yeah, one fall. Uh, but yeah, it used to be very common. Like most matches were those de tres caídas. Nowadays, it's not as common. Uh, all my life, I've questioned what's the purpose of dos de tres caídas, because it seems more like it was a remaining of older times, because almost always the first and second caída would go really fast. They'll be like 5 minutes, both caídas, and then 15 minutes or 10 minutes for the last caída. So I would think, like, what's the purpose then? Like, you want to get through the first and second caída just to get to the third one, which will be the really good one. But I think it's from another time where they needed to rest more. So they would finish one caída, they would take like a few minutes of rest, and then the second caída, a few minutes of rest, and then the third one. But when it comes to TV, I think they realized they didn't really need it anymore. It made matches longer, and they need them to be shorter nowadays. But in live events, it's more common when they're not televised. In regular indie events, it's really common to see those de tres caídas. Was Lucha Underground popular in Mexico when it was airing? Not that much, I would say. Like, I don't remember people really talking about it. There's a lot of fans of Lucha Underground, but most of them have discovered it afterwards, because they would not. I don't remember they streamed it on TV. Like, it was not on a channel specifically. So people started watching it and recognized how good it was after it got on Netflix and other streaming services. At least that I remember. When it was the World Cup once, Lucha Underground, maybe there was. Yeah, now that you're saying it, I think it was a second World Cup, but the one I remember the most, it was when Alberto del Rio, Rey Mysterio, and Mysticis won it. El Comandante Pierrot, yeah, I remember him. That was like when I was a kid. I was really scared of him. That's the thing. When I watched CMLL when I was a kid, I would get scared of the Rudos, because they seemed really bad people, and I would question, like, they do seem like bad people, but later on you find out they're not. But they did a really good job. They had really good Rudos back then, and AAA had really good faces, really good técnicos. So yeah, I feel like WWE tried to get any TV deal they could. Yeah, it seems like that's what I thought, and I think what most fans have thought is that they just got a TV deal, what they could get for AAA, hoping that they see the first year and that it does good numbers, and then they get a better deal. But I think it also has to do with logistics. I don't think they would be able to have like one weekly show at different places in the country, especially with the prices they're having for these events. They're really high, like double or triple what they used to be for these type of events. So yeah, I don't know if it would work, but I think they're just testing the waters in all those cases. Could we get a video on Promoción Azteca? Yeah, I've heard of that. Like, I just want you to remember, guys, most of the things a lot of people ask me, I didn't see them. Like, I didn't watch them. I've of course I know of them because I've watched a lot of videos like you. Like, I've watched a lot of documentaries and explainer videos and all of that. I've heard a lot about Promoción Azteca. Even my dad has told me, like, yeah, I remember there was Promoción Azteca. That was really fun. I never watched a show of that, right? But of course, that's where research it does its job. But yeah, I think it would be really good. It's just that I have a lot of video ideas right now, and people just keep giving me ideas, which are great, and I plan to make videos on that. But honestly, I think like the first year, so like 40 videos from now, I have enough ideas to make videos from wrestlers, from events. I don't know if you know about Padrísimo. There's this event in the 2000s called Padrísimo, where CMLL and AAA faced each other. Like wrestlers from CMLL and AAA were in one single event. This happened because Televisa told them it should happen. Like Televisa was like, I own the right, or I own the rights for both of your companies, like for TV, and you have to do a single event where you both face each other, like the companies. It only happened because of that. AAA and CMLL didn't want that to happen, and I want to make a video about that. But for that, I have to think through, like, if I want you to understand the weight of those events or those, yeah, what happened, I also have to first explain certain luchadores, right? So what I'm doing right now is, through these single videos, I'm trying to explain the history of luchadores, single luchadores. So when we get to an event like that, when I get to explain it, most of you will be like, oh, Abismo Negro was there. Oh, amazing. I know who Abismo Negro, and I know who Latin Lover is. So it's going to take time, but I'm in no rush. I really like doing these videos. I like that you like it too. But yeah, so we'll get to all of that eventually. We have enough material and ideas for a couple of years of videos, so just bear with me because it's going to take some time. I can only make one video a week, and I know people have told me that some of the videos seem to be lacking information, or I'm not saying everything there is to it, to the luchadores, but I'm not able to do half an hour, 1 hour videos every week. And if I did one video a month, they wouldn't have the traction they need to have more and more people. Maybe, like I said, in a couple of years, I can start making longer and longer videos. But right now, I think also my thought process is that a lot of you wouldn't watch a half an hour video on a luchador you don't know. But if you see that the video is like 8 minutes, 10 minutes, probably you'll be like, okay, let's watch it. So that's my thought process. Sorry, I need to read more messages. Peña even booked his own NWO, yeah, with their NWO with AAA versus Triple L. That's another story I need to explain. I thought more people, like I said, sometimes I leave these Easter eggs hoping that people would ask questions. I thought people would ask what Triple L is from the Abismo Negro video, where he says, Vipers Extreme, Triple L. I thought that people were going to ask, what is Triple L? But no one asked that. So I guess that's not such an urgent video. How has it been, the local reception to the acquisition of AAA by WWE? At first, people were on the fence, but now they really like it because of the results. So people are fascinated with Undertaker and that. So hold on, because the event is about to start in 30 seconds. I don't know. Can I pop-up chat? Yes. There you go. So I can watch and read your messages. Hold on, let me go back. Thank you, Raimi Butler. Thank you. I really appreciate all your comments telling me that I'm doing a good job. Honestly, I didn't expect it. So I really appreciate you guys, and it motivates me to keep going. And I appreciate the feedback as well, the criticism. I also take it. So we're watching the replay of this event and of the video. Right now, it is about to start. I'll let you know, like, the times of the video, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, it's about to start right now. It's starting right now. It's saying then I'm waiting now. Forever. So that's your cue to synchronize it. Could we get a video? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm rereading. Thank you, like I said. Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Yeah, I don't know. So we're getting the same video as last week, the video package. So I'm gonna keep reading messages. My first exposure to CMLL was the Pokemon event. Yeah, that was really fun. Multi-man matches being the default. Yeah, especially in CMLL right now, it's like most matches are 3v3, 4v4. They call, in Spanish, we call them, in Mexico, relevos australianos. Why? I don't know. I don't know what Australia has to do with that. I would have to do more research, but yeah. Yeah, mano a manos 1v1 is really rare in most events in Mexico. It's been more common now with WWE, but yeah. Yes, Mil Máscaras also, he's coming. There's a video of him coming. Yeah, I know the ticket prices for WWE. I know that, like what they did for WrestleMania, the discounts. Yeah, that was the best. Yeah, I know. I've noticed that. I know that I didn't know it, like that I was at this level. That most of you know of luchadores because of WCW. Honestly, it makes me sad that a lot of people disregard the second parka in the parka videos. There, most people are like, the only good one is the first one. The second one is like just a copycat and whatever. And I'm like, that's the one I like the most because that's the one I saw many times, and he was my hero when I was a kid. He was a really nice dude, also. So yeah, I wish more people recognize how good he was. Not probably not as a wrestler technically, but as a person and in charisma. I don't think there's been another parka that way. Uh, I mean, AAA and CMLL do hate each other in a way. Like they don't want to look at each other. But they were forced to have an event together thanks to Televisa, which is the biggest TV broadcast company in Mexico. El Santo en la Sombra. Yes, I think. Well, it's starting right now. They're showing Puebla. I think for. Well, I'm not. I don't think. I'm sure. This next week's video is going to be on Místico, and probably after that, I'm going to have to do La Sombra as well because they were a team, Volador Junior, Místico, and La Sombra. So, yeah. Hola, Juan. Hello. Yeah, the roster for AAA right now is thin, especially because we don't know who is included in the roster. It's been said that only Hijo del Vikingo has a contract with WWE, and the other luchadores don't have a contact directly with WWE, but with another company who manages, I don't know, AAA in Mexico. So, yeah, they need to get more people in the roster, but I'm guessing it's really difficult to figure out how they can work with the contracts because they have to allow them to keep working independent shows if they're not gonna have a lot of these type of events where they record. So yeah, Mr. Iguana. No, it's not the money machine. These colors are really confusing. So it's the money machine stable. I think we're gonna have 2 or 3 matches, yeah, for today. Watching from Canada, that's awesome. 2 or 3 matches, yeah. I'm sure there's one segment with El Grande Mexicano at least. Yeah, I also have to talk about J-Man 77. I have to talk about when I do the Santo video, I'm gonna talk about the movies. Just picture that during that time for Demon, Mil Máscaras, El Santo, and all those luchadores, they were selling out stadiums and arenas because for people was like watching the Avengers live, like the superheroes from their movies. They want to be able to watch them live and wrestle. So that's why that era is another thing. That's at another level. How is Dominic Mysterio reception is in AAA? La Hiedra is coming out. All like I said, all green. Money Machine green, La Hiedra green. Probably Mr. Iguana is going to be green, of course. People love him because he basically because he insults people in a way that is really funny, and so he's like an anti-hero here. I'm under the impression that face or technical and Gillian Rudo line is more easily blurred in Lucha Libre. Lately, it has been. It wasn't before. Before, it was really clear. And I have to make a video explaining the differences between technical and face and Gillian Rudo because they're not exactly the same. It's more like evil versus good. And I have to make a video about that because it's, yeah, it's different. Did you, Lola Vice is coming out right now. Yes. Did you see a luchador reveal that they are his daughter recently? Yes, the daughter of La Parca, right? The second Parca. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. I think that's really surprising. Mr. Iguana is coming out now. Thank you, Ben Newborn. Really appreciate it. I think a problem with the roster is we only have an hour to show them off. Yes, but at the same time, that's why people are liking the shows, right? So I think it's really difficult to get a balance because you have both comments. People saying, "I really like uh, how the shows run, and they don't feel too long," but I wish we would see more of the notice. And it's like you want both things, but it's hard to get a balance on that. Hopefully, they get to that point. Yeah, luchadores fought the mummies. They fought monsters like Dracula, Frankenstein, even I think aliens probably also, uh, Satan basically as well. Yeah, so the movies are very bizarre, and it's really entertaining. Sí, Santo contra las mujeres vampiros versus the vampire women. That's an interesting one. Fenix is coming out now. Yeah, rudos have always been cheered here in Mexico. So you would have the porra técnica, but the one that is like the biggest one is la porra ruda is what it's called. And you basically have one of those in every arena. It's people, a group of people who are cheering for the rudos, and they would be the loudest ones. And so even in the audience, between the people who among the people who were watching, you would have the técnicos and the rudos, and people would start even chanting stuff against the porra ruda, against the people, not even the luchadores. It still happens today that people who are down, like at the ring level, and people who are like at the top of the arenas start chanting things among them, saying like, "Oh, you're very poor. That's why you are on top." And people down, and the people on top are chanting also stuff for people down there, like, "Oh, your daddy didn't. You didn't have a dad. He gave you money and stuff like that." It's yeah, it's really interesting if you come to an event and watch it live, not the televised ones, the ones that are like in independent arenas. Los Mercenarios, yeah, La Hiedra and Los Mercenarios with Tejano Jr. And if you like Tejano Jr., today there will be a surprise related to him. There was also a Santo cartoon, yeah, in Cartoon Network. Okay, so the match is going to start. I'm going to keep an eye on the match and on the chat. But yeah, there was a Santo cartoon. I used to watch it on Cartoon Network. It wasn't really a full developed cartoon. It was like segments of like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, if I remember correctly. They look really cool. Yeah. There's also like comics from the most luchadores from old times, right? So El Santo, Blue Demon still has like a comic, I think nowadays. There's a lot to cover, and it's difficult because a lot of it is not recorded. We don't have records of that. Even like photos, videos, it's mostly stories. So yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're scouting right now for like Juan is saying. I'm pretty sure AAA is scouting for new luchadores and young luchadores, but it's gonna take time to watch them at events. Phoenix, as you can tell, Phoenix doesn't get the same reaction as Penta. Well, it's weird watching Layala try to hit Mr. Iguana, right? Van a volar, they're gonna fly. Phoenix didn't want to dance. Uh, we call that a finta. Like they did a finta. Like they were gonna do it, but they didn't do it. They would say finta. I'm gonna try to explain some things uh, that people in the Spanish broadcast are saying because a lot of times they explain references or the history of the luchadores. So I'll try to explain that to you if I hear something interesting, of course. Wow. Yeah, I think Fenix lacks a little bit of charisma. He's a really good wrestler, but I don't know why. Feels like he lacks the charisma that Penta has in abundance. Yeah, Exoticos do that still to this day. Like they run to the crowd, and they did it even in televised events, which was like nowadays a no-no. But yeah, they would go after fans in the crowd and just kiss them. I haven't watched that much of Money Machine. I know who they are, but I haven't seen a lot of matches from them. But they have a really good gimmick, I think. At least interesting. What? Garra de Oro. Two, no, dos. Phoenix was just standing there, like waiting for them to do their spot. No, I didn't know Hijo de Doctor Wagner Jr. as Nacho Libre. I don't know. I mean, he would have to have been very young, right? I didn't know that. Of course, Silver King was Ramses. I didn't know of someone wrestling as Nacho Libre. Por la Yesca. Wow. Oh, good DDT. Wow. Yeah, I never understand how they can wrestle with those clothes. Like, looks really uncomfortable, but it is interesting because of that. Super Porky was really interesting to watch. I mean, in videos it's really fun, but live it was really interesting because people would just make fun of everything he did. They usually film or record 3 weeks, no, 2 weeks. First week is live, and the next two are recorded. Hey, we have Chelsea Green there, but she's injured. What would she do? If you have seen what is been said in or reported, Chelsea Green really likes to wrestle in AAA, and of course, people really like her here in Mexico. And every WWE mid Carter and of course main eventers is gonna have a huge reaction here. Yeah. Thank you, Pele. Well, I haven't watched a lot of Japanese wrestling. Gran Hamada, I have never watched him wrestle. Like, of course, videos. I know of him because of of his daughters, but no, I never saw him in videos or, of course, live. Yeah, most of the matches I've seen from Japan are of Mexican luchadores, like Mil Máscaras, Dos Caras, Psicodélico, the AAA events they did in Japan as well. There was a Triple Mania in Japan, I think, with a mask from WWE. Oh yeah, WWE starts with a mask. Finn Balor for sure. Mm, who else? Mm, I think Austin Aries would do a lot better with a mask. It's probably like Ludwig Kaiser. It would help him. Austin Aries? Is it Austin? Austin Theory. I'm sorry. Another Austin. But yeah, Austin Theory, I think, would benefit from using a mask. Wow. Whoa. Yeah, Desperado has a really good mask. I've always wanted a Desperado mask. Well, let's see what the Phoenix does here. Well, well, oof. The way he uses the ropes, it's like unmatched. Just waiting for La Hiedra. Well, Garra de Oro's mask looks more like a wolfman. Uh, so yeah, I'm conflicted with his mask. Hmm. I heard the Wagners did a really good job in at Noah. What is that? A reverse Spanish fly because of how they did it? Austin Aries, yeah, yeah. But I was talking about Austin Theory. I'm sorry. I'm eating some. Well, I was eating because I finished it. Some mango with chili. Adios, amigo. There, like that move, that spot that Phoenix does. Adios, amigo. It seems like people. Wow, like they were hoping people would start calling it adios, amigo, and scream it. It never. Like people never started doing that. But it seems like the end. One, two. Ah, nice. TNA collab with AAA. I don't know if it should be like one video or just keep mentioning it in videos because yeah, probably yes. I don't know. Whoa! Wow. Did you watch? Did you guys watch Mr. Iguana's video this week where he was at a show and someone was trying to get to him and they pushed somebody else and they were like the entrance was elevated and people were there. Wow. The end. One, two, three. Yes, that's the end of the match. Uh, the kids, and then a person fell from like was like 2 meters, and a person fell from there because they were pushing each other. And Mr. Iguana was really scared, I think. um, yeah, and I don't think he's related to Felino. A person who is related to El Felino is the coolest cat, Puma King. He's the son of Felino. He's a really good wrestler. I think AAA should get him in the roster. But he was inactive for a long time, so probably he's still trying to get in the rhythm of wrestling often. AAA has changed mainly in the production side. Uh, by that I mean like how focused they are on looking at the cameras, the story wise. Oh, Chelsea Green. Let's see what she says. Felicidades. Una problema pequeña. Triple A. She's really funny. Oh, she never lost the title. That's true. Yeah, he was yelling "Adios, amigo" all the time, hoping people would scream it as well, but never did. Triple A. I don't know who does Triple A's subtitles, but I've seen a lot of mistakes in them. So if someone from Triple A is watching, uh, I do subtitles for a job, so translating subtitles and creating subtitles. So if someone from Triple A is watching, I can help with that. I would love to work with you guys because yeah, I've seen a lot of mistakes there in translation wise. Yes, next match. I know a lot of you guys really like Psycho Clown and Pagano. I didn't expect that, but yeah, should be a good match. Yeah, so if someone from AAA is watching, I could help with subtitles. So I do that uh, as my daily job. Yeah, hire me. Mm, yeah, Puma King was traveling all over the world. He had a YouTube channel. He used to do blogs, and he would go everywhere, not just the United States. He would go to Europe and a lot of places. But something happened in his personal life, and he was semi-retired for a while. Yeah, that's a WWE touch. Yeah, but AAA used to do that sometimes also. Yeah, I think WWE has a hard time getting. Thank you, Ghost 713. Really appreciate it. It does help me a lot. Thank you, guys. Um, yeah, Pagano is really slow nowadays, but if you knew his past in the indies as an extreme wrestler, luchador extremo is what we call it, like hardcore luchador. Um, yeah, like he did a lot. Like if you could see him live, I've seen him live many times, and I've seen his back and his arms. They're full of scars. Like it's yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Thank you to everyone who's watching. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the likes. I hope you're having fun. Yeah, and Pagano is really slow, but still he does those spots like he goes out of the ring and does a flip, front flip, and he falls on his back, boom, and like it does. I've seen it live, and he gets up of that just holding his back, but in a real way. You can tell he's hurting, but he keeps doing it. Probably he will do it tonight. He always does it, but yeah, and people like him. Like he has a really interesting look. People were saying that he could, if he betrays the Psycho Circus, that he could be added to the Wyatt Six. That I think that would be pretty cool. Even if he didn't wrestle, just as a guy standing there who doesn't speak, because he doesn't speak any English, even though he lives in the border. Uh, I think he would look like pretty cool. Like if you could have like action figures and merch from Pagano, not saying anything, just like looking like a badass, it could work. Yeah, and if it was against Sam Adonis, like Pagano against Sam Adonis, that's more recent. But if you could, before he got into AAA, he would also wrestle CMLL wrestlers. I think there was a match between Pagano and Ultimo Guerrero. Like, it's basically like it seemed like CMLL was like make him make it look and let him know and people know that CMLL luchadores are tough as well, like in an extreme way. It wasn't really an extreme match, but they were going hard at like the spots, really hard. Psycho Clown was the face of the company before the AAA WWE acquisition. I mean, he was the main eventer. He has main evented Triple Mania many times. Yeah, the flip it's like really scary because you can tell he doesn't try to go down like in a smooth way. Like he just goes and it's like God protect me going down. So yeah, yeah. Like he was the face of the company before. It was La Parca for like 20 years, the second Parca, and then it slowly started to being Psycho Clown. But like, the face where he was the main event in every event, especially not televised events. Like people knew he was the draw. He is still the biggest draw from AAA, I think, nowadays. Uh, so yeah, just keep that in mind. It's interesting to see him not as a main eventer now because of that, because of the WWE acquisition. He's I think he's more a mid carder, but still in events that are not for TV, he's presented as the main star most of the time. Yeah, some AAA action figures would be really cool. Yeah, he took. Dr. Wagner Jr.'s mask, of course. That's also Pagano's hair. Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, Penta and Pagano. I don't know. I mean, Penta is too young and Pagano is too old, so I don't know if that would work. Probably a couple good spots because Pagano is not afraid of doing things that hurt, but not a great match, I think. Well, the Almighty Bean, what he says, he needs more factions like Los Guapos, VIP, pero demás. But still, like those faction wars are like from more than 10 years ago. So, wow. So Pagano is wearing a mask that is like a combination of his makeup with psychosis, the original psychosis, because there's also another psychosis that AAA created after Nicho el Millonario. The psychosis you probably know from WCW. When he went there, it happened the same as with La Parca. They created another psychosis. Timor Leste. Hello, Peter. Oh, it's in the morning there. Yeah, where I am, it's 8:27 p.m. It's not that late, but yeah, if you're in the morning, where is that? Where is Timor Leste? I don't know. I don't know where that is in the world. Really cool mask by Pagano. He has said that Psychosis is like his idol. He's like for him, it's his inspiration. He really admires Psychosis, so that's why he did it. He even sometimes uses gear that resembles Psychosis original gear, like black and silver. Uh, yeah, I've seen it a couple of times. Oh, it's buffering. Okay. Yeah, dark and gothic factions in AAA are really popular. Like, uh, they had this like there's a character actually called Cuervo. It's basically the Raven from the movie. The makeup is the same. He still wrestles. Southeast Asia. Oh, awesome! Thank you, Peter, for watching from there. I'm really surprised that people from all over the world are interested in AAA. Wow. It seems like this match is AAA rules as it should be. If you didn't know, in tag team matches in AAA before WWE, there was not actual tag. Like one luchador would go out of the ring and the next one would get in the ring, and they didn't need to tag officially. Tag it's like, okay, it's my turn now, and they would go in, and what they would do is they would have capitanes, captains of a team. So if the captain was pinned or submitted, then the match ended, like the other team won. But if they pinned or submitted another luchador who wasn't the captain, the match would go on until the captain was submitted. But that wrestler, that luchador, couldn't interfere in the match anymore, so they were out. But it seems like more like that's one change I don't like, but it does help with order because before that, luchadors were doing all kinds of stuff, and you could focus on one action. Drago became el dios del inframundo. He still wrestles. Ah, yeah, the AAA animated movie. They had Gronda, Abismo Negro, Chessman, all of them. Yeah. I don't remember the movie. I know I watched it. Of course, I was still young and I went to see it, but I don't remember the story. I need to watch it again. Lucha Rules Tag. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was more similar to Tornado Tag Team. Um, relevos australianos is what. Well, if it's between tag teams like 2v2, it's not relevos australianos. Uh, but yeah, sometimes They took advantage of rules not being clear, and they would do whatever they want needed. Oh, poor Pagano, he's already hurt. Pagano definitely is one luchador who doesn't need any more hits to the head, and I'm not exaggerating with that. Like he really, I don't think he can take any more, but he doesn't care. He's similar to Darby Allin, I would say, in that way, not in character or anything, but in a way, it's really similar. He even looks similar. I don't think I played the game. Probably yes, but I don't think so. I watch a lot of videos on the AAA game. Probably yes, I think I did. I remember the entrances of the wrestlers. El Elegido, La Parca, of course. Silver King was there. So probably yes. It's been a long time. But yeah. Yeah. El Pin. We could, someone suggested, and I think it's a good idea. We could watch old events, AAA events. Just watch it together and explain some stuff and just have fun. But like I said, I don't know if I could do it. Of course, on YouTube, I cannot do it. Wow. That looked stiff. I don't, of course, on YouTube, we cannot do it, but I don't know if maybe on Twitch, I could show the video and we could be watching, like reacting to the event. I think it would be a lot of fun. But I don't know how Twitch works. I don't know how to stream there, so I would have to learn. Yeah, Christian. Why there were two refs sometimes? I don't know. They did that also. Like it wasn't only a TV thing, but yeah, probably like you say, it was because one ref used to be technical and one ref used to be rudo. So that's one huge change that fans actually like. That refs are not interfering in the match as well anymore in AAA. In CMLL, they've never done it, but in AAA, the ref was basically another wrestler, not doing moves, but interfering, like holding wrestlers, uh, counting really slow, stuff like that. Of course, they did it because they got a reaction, and they did. People hated them, but it was like easy reaction. People didn't like it, so that's one thing people are grateful for. One of the changes, they're like, "Wow, Psycho, whoa, code red." They call it Código Rojo, code red, I guess. Whoa! Those moves are like that type of thoughts, which remind me of like what Sami Zayn does. To me, are really dangerous. Like every time I watch them, like, it's just a couple of centimeters higher or lower, the hit would be really bad. I'll keep reading comments once the match ends because I'm having a hard time reading and watching the match. Whoa! Well, commentators in Spanish were saying that a wrestler named El Pantera used to do that same move that Pagano did between the two ropes, the third and second rope, to the outside of the ring in the during the time of the Super Astros in WWE. I don't know who El Pantera is, but yeah, he was saying that's the only other wrestler he has seen do that. Oh, luchador. Oh, one, two. If they were in WWE, that would have been the end of the match. But if they are in their own brand, they are stronger than if they are in foreign turf. I think. Well, no. I was gonna say that probably Psycho was gonna rip his mask, but that's mostly what I think he does in the U.S. He had never done it in Mexico, at least that I remember. Probably he had, but it was not common. Oof. Ah. As you can tell, the one that who carries the match for Técnicos or for AAA wrestlers is Psycho Clown because Pagano is not as fast and agile. Wow! Damn! He closed my mouth. Me cerró la boca, we would say. Whoa! Dang! It's like he heard me. Oof. Blue Demon Jr. versus Dr. Wagner Jr. Yeah, I'll cover that match when I cover Dr. Wagner and Blue Demon. Oof. Ah, oof. Oof. Tirantes. Yeah, I've never liked El Tirantes and El Hijo del Tirantes, but in a good way, like because they are rudos, not because I don't like them as people. Uh, but yeah, it's really frustrating when a match is going well and then the referee just interferes and slows down the match, or I don't know. People don't like it. That's why they are grateful that that ended. Yeah, I mean, one ref that is corrupt and as a storyline, it could work. But having the refs being rudos in all the matches and interfering in all the matches, it would get old. Like it would be like, okay, they're doing the same thing again. Wow. Yeah, Silver King died a long time ago. I'm gonna have to do a video on him because he died in the ring. He was wrestling. What you who you probably know as Juby, Juventud Guerrera. Yeah, he died in the middle of the ring. Oh, the third. Oh, I thought. Yeah, he's going to the third rope. Wow. Oh, shit. Oh. Psycho Clown is right there. Whoa. Nah. Oh, he did it. Psycho carried. I don't know who is who. Ivar and the other one. I don't know who is who, but I think that was Ivar. Wow. I think they could bring Otis as a Super Porky type character, and I think it would work because he does something similar to Super Porky in the US. But here in Triple A, I think it would be a lot funnier because they could work with wrestlers better with luchadores. Oh yeah, he's gonna do the thing with the mask. Oh, he's ripping the mask. Oh, dang, that looks really cool. Hey, you can do that in the new WWE game. If you didn't know, you can actually do that with him. I don't have the game, but I've seen the videos. Ooh, what is Pagano going to do? Oh, Psycho to the third rope. Oh, I haven't seen him do that. Pagano again. Ooh, leg drop. Oh, it does. Oh, I thought that was the end. Erik and Ivar. Ugh, I should remember, right? That my same name. Psycho going out. Oh, You can. He's bleeding. Erik is bleeding. Oh, that was no accident. Yeah, you can see it in his face. He's going crazy. One thing with AAA luchadores is that they're not really good at acting. They need to take acting classes, but that makes it funny. Oh, what's happening? Oh, he's going crazy. Oh, I don't think they're gonna lose, right? Like I said, I don't know the results, but I don't think they're gonna lose. What is the ref doing? Let them wrestle. Oh, come on. Did you see what happened with El Hijo del Tirantes as well? He threw hands with a fan at an event, but I think it was like a few months ago. But just this week, last week, yeah, last week the video went viral, and people were asking or just wondering if he would get fired as El Niño Hamburguesa. Wow. So we're gonna get a rematch, of course, right? I don't know when Erik got cut and he's bleeding right now. So this rivalry is gonna keep going. And honestly, I don't know who would be a good tag team to dethrone Pagano and Psycho Clown. I mean, they're good, doing good. They're charismatic, and yeah. So I don't know who could take the titles. Boo! He's thanking his mom. What? Dorian is terrible at acting, as well as El Hijo del Vikingo. I don't know if it happens the same for you or for WWE wrestlers. If you watch them and you think like, oh, they're terrible wrestlers, they're terrible actors. Because I don't know, for me they look normal. I don't know, but these guys are terrible. Like he's really small, like me. WrestleMania against Penta. Are they setting up El Hijo del Vikingo versus Penta? So I think that's a segment they're gonna do. Okay, so let me read some comments. Mm, hold on. Cool gimmick for a Rudo. Rudo would be him to follow the rules to the letter. Yeah, I've thought of that too. As a kid, I thought of that too. Yeah, that would be a good character. I think, yeah, I'm just about seeing the preparation of AAA. Being firstborn Mexican in the States, always remember watching AAA, CMLL, and WWE as a kid. Yeah, it's really good that people internationally are being able to see these luchadores and the fans as well. That's really cool. Yeah, the match was really good. It was good. My favorite current luchador. I don't know. No, I know. El Grande Mexicano is my current favorite luchador. I want to get a mask uh, from El Grande Mexicano. Wow, that's gonna be probably the best match in the whole event. Yeah, I'm gonna make a video on Perros del Mal. That's for sure. I already know. Ivar. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names in general. Oh, El Fiscal and Abismo Negro again. Hopefully, we get the match at Triple Mania because like having this in the weekly shows. I don't know. I don't know what else. Mini Vikingo the Goat. He's coming to my city. Like the event I told you guys at the beginning. There's gonna be a show, not for TV, just a regular local show, and Mini Vikingo is coming. Oh, so here's the segment with the Grande Mexicano. Yeah, why? I don't know. I'm watching from Fox One. They should be live. I don't know why there's like some lag. So I'm not watching from YouTube. In Mexico, you cannot watch it on YouTube. You have to pay to watch it. So if you're trying to keep up with me or try to be at the same point, right now they're about to present uh, the first luchador in the. Oh, so they're welcoming Lick Marisela Peña. The graphic just appeared in the screen for her, so you can try to put at the same time. Yeah, I don't know why Monster Clown is not in AAA, honestly. Yeah, probably my stream is behind because it's not the same as on YouTube, but it's live. Yeah, probably if you pause for a few seconds, you can get to the same point. I'm gonna tell you right now, Chessman is just appearing on screen. Well, not the wrestler, the graphic for his entrance. I'm gonna let you know when he comes out. Right now, we're seeing him coming out with the sword. So Chessman, if you can tell, his face paint is inspired by Sting, specifically from the time where Sting used it in that color. I don't know how long it was, or if it was just a few occasions, but yeah, like people really, uh, they really criticize him. Did you see there were the green shirt guys? So people is really a big fan of WWE here in Mexico. That's not something they do often. That's the first time people have seen them. But yeah, Chessman won the Rey de Reyes once. He was a really good wrestler. He was one of the most loyal wrestlers to luchadores in triple A. Mr. Iguana, La Parca, Lady Shani, that's good. Wolfpack Sting, that's what it was called. Yeah, I was not alive during that time, or I was a baby. Tejano Jr., really good wrestler. He's a junior, of course. So we have Tejano, the original Tejano, who already died, and he has a brother. I think his name's Supernova. Nova, I don't know. Really good wrestler, really good wrestler. He's considered one of the most underrated wrestlers. He's not in his prime anymore, of course, but when he was a mega champion as well. People really liked him as a champion. Chessman, like I said, he was really loyal, but he never, like as an individual, he wasn't really top. Like Cibernetico, for example. Cibernetico was one of the top wrestlers at the same time as La Parca, the second one. They had a mask versus mask match at a Triple Mania, and of course he lost. Alberto El Patron promotion, his promotion people are like, oh, it's gonna probably disappear in 3 months. People are not having a high hopes for it. The Tower of Sins. There's a lot of memes regarding Cibernetico, and he would shout, "Apocalipsis ahora," which means apocalypse now. Yeah, as you can tell, he's really loved still to this day. He can barely wrestle right now, like at a good level, but he's still a big draw. It was really surprising to see them because people were not expecting them. Latin Lover was invited to this segment, but he denied because he had already other commitments, and he thought it would be irresponsible to cancel those commitments to go there because they told him in the same week that it was happening. So yeah. And then we're gonna get El Grande Mexicano. I really like his entrance. His music is awesome. El Grande Mexicano. Viva Americano. As you can tell, people love him. He's the face of AAA right now. Ole, ole, ole. Mm. Yeah, Mil Muertes. It really sounded almost. Oh, it always sounded weird to me because it just seemed like Mil Máscaras, but Mil Muertes, an evil version. But yeah, I know he was really big in the US, so at least with fans of the Underground. That's why El Mesias, when he's in the US, he usually is presented as Mil Muertes and he comes out with a mask because he's more well known as Mil Muertes than as El Mesias or Ricky Banderas. Yeah, Halloween Jr. Uh, this guy, Halloween Jr. or he's doing the classic. I mean, not even from luchadores, from movies like the good guys from movies. Uh, Halloween Jr. I think even Halloween also, like his makeup was similar, but just like orange, right? Orange and black, yeah. But it was Halloween, I think, not Halloween Junior. Halloween, yeah. His son Tejano Junior also uses the bullwhip. It was like he always takes it to the ring with him, and he always uses it in the matches. Which in Mexican lucha libre, well, there's only Mexican lucha libre, right? In lucha libre, there was no disqualification for that, or using chairs was not a DQ. It was more lax when it came to that. Yeah, women's division in AAA needs more women. Uh, but yeah, hopefully they're working on that. Dorian. Yeah, hopefully we're synced now. El Grande is. I think El Grande is like John Cena in the 2000s. I said it recently. Even luchadores are surprised with that. Last week match between Lamer and Bailey was really good. Like I said in one of the videos, in the recap video, I said probably the best female match. Wow, he's really. You can tell it's touching for him the reaction of the people, and how could it not be right? Like where was he a year ago, and where is he now? It's nothing short of amazing, and people really like him. Like people are actually fans of him, and like I said, luchadores like uh, legends or people like Cibernetico have said that they're really surprised with the reception. They're happy for him. Like they really like that he's having this reception. And he gives his promos in Spanish in a good Spanish, not perfect, but he, of course, him recognizing these luchadores is like a good technical move, right? He's humble. Ciber, yeah. By the way, Cibernetico has said that he didn't receive a single dollar or peso from the T-shirts that they sold with his name in last Triple Mania. He said like, yeah, I didn't receive anything. I don't know who could beat Laredo Kid, honestly. I mean, there are people who could beat him, but he could be Vikingo if they did that. Like if he moved from his current storyline, he could be the champion. One thing I really like is that WWE like doing this with Chessman, Tejano, Cibernetico, because it seems like they do want to recognize their history. And AAA before, like if a luchador was not in the roster, they would make like he didn't exist unless they came back. So yeah, it's really good that they recognize them as legends. Uh, Probably Gronda is worse than Cibernetico. He was never really a good wrestler. Rayo and Bravo have wrestled in AAA. I don't know if they're not gonna wrestle today, but I don't know if next week. I don't think so. I'm planning on making a video explaining why Rayo and Bravo are not getting the same reception as El Grande Mexicano, because I think they are more similar to the original Grande Americano than to El Grande Mexicano. That's why they're not as well received. They're too exaggerated. Their names um, are not even right. It should be El Rayo, El Bravo, and stuff like that makes them more similar to the original Grande Americano. Even their masks look weird, and they're exaggerated and more similar to him than to this one. El Chaparro Americano, the Shorty Americano. In this house, we support El Grande Mexicano. Just wanted to let you know. Look at people. Yeah, Gronda was a huge draw, like huge. One more thing, he's saying. People are chanting Grande Hermano ya eres mexicano, which means, oh no, yeah, they're chanting Grande Hermano ya eres mexicano, which means Grande brother, you are already Mexican. So that's basically people saying we receive you as a Mexican. So he said a phrase that it's very common. I think Chavela Vargas is the one who said it. It's like a Mexican is born wherever he wants. And what she was saying is that there's people who are not born in Mexico, but they become Mexicans, right? So he repeated that phrase. He said he's basically recognizing I wasn't born here, but I feel Mexican now. Yeah, Chad Gable is amazing as a wrestler, but I think he could do better as Chad Gable than as El Original. Yeah, like I said, it would be nice if Rayo and Bravo betrayed El Grande Mexicano, but in the last few weeks, like their match in NXT and what they recorded there with Sol Ruca, people actually in Mexico, people liked it. So maybe they're starting to understand how to be accepted by the people, and I'm sure Kaiser is helping them. Dom, yeah, Mexicano shouldn't lose his mask. Yeah, I don't know why El Original is not having their American Alpha alongside with him. I thought they would make a 3v3 match, but I don't know why they haven't done that. Oh, what is Rey Mysterio? So yeah, basically, El Mexicano is going to face Dominic. I think probably he will win the championship. That would be great for the first year of AAA. That would be a great way of remembering the first year of AAA. Oh, oh dang it. These guys are were probably very tired because remember they did this and their matches the first week. The first week, the same day, like an hour before they were having their matches. I really hope Mexicano wins the championship. Wow. One thing that I'm still waiting to see is luchadores ripping off their masks. I think that's a great visual. I don't know why they haven't done it in WWE, like in Raw and SmackDown. That's a great way of like showing how serious they are, and just ripping the mask and having you see half their face. That's an amazing visual, but they haven't done it. I don't know why. Oh, he's trying to do that exactly. I mean, in a match, not just as a spot outside a match, but in a match. Ah, he's not even ripping it. Wow, he doesn't know how to do it. There's a way of ripping masks. There's the method of ripping masks that every luchador knows. You hold like the space between the eyes, not between the eyes, the opening for the eye. One luchador holds the top, the other luchador who has the mask holds the bottom, and so the other one just pulls and the mask rips. That's the common way of ripping masks. I mean, you can take the sword; it's not gonna do anything. Having the sword doesn't make you the Rey de Reyes. Is that the end? I thought we had another match. What? That was too fast. Dang it. People are chanting, doesn't belong to you. Oh, that was the end. People were chanting, that doesn't belong to you. And if you have watched the Octagon, um, the Octagon video, you know they are referencing the the incident with Octagon. People like fans love to reference that incident, but yeah, they're chanting, "No te pertenece, it doesn't belong to you." The same thing that Octagon says. Well, we are. I don't know if we can chat a little bit. We can talk about what we just saw. Let me read some comments here. It's crazy. Yeah, this happened because of Chad Gable's injury, but who would know, right? What could happen because of that? It was amazing. Mm, yeah, I think Kaiser will never get this reaction with his regular gimmick. But I mean, that's normal, right? Like for luchadores, it's the same. They get a huge reaction with their mask, and a lot of them, once they lose the mask, like people are like, okay, whatever. It's really sad, but it's like I said in the last video, there's a loss of the mystique, and it's something really interesting. For some luchadores, it does help, but I think in the case of Kaiser, we already know without a mask, there's not a reaction like that. But with a mask, it's another thing, like Superman. Yeah, I think Chad. I thought Chad was going to be this generation's Kurt Angle. Like he has everything to be a figure like that. The two guys under those masks are really good. Yeah, they are, but they're complete charisma vacuums. They are as well. Putting them under mask was never going to help. Yeah, I think it could work, and they're trying to figure it out, and more or less they're doing it. But still, they're not at that point as El Grande Mexicano. But if you remember, it took him also a few weeks to get it right. So who knows? I like the show. In my opinion, it was a solid show. Yeah, it went by really fast. It was a good show. If it feels like that, you are left wanting more. So that's a really good sign. Um, I don't know if I'm biased because of my recent obsession with Mexican wrestling, but that was great. It was good, yeah. Except for the end of the tag match. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, I think if they wanted, they could keep it going, and they even could form a tag team with two El Grandes. Yeah, they could. That's what I in one of the videos I made. That's why I was suggesting that they could have their feud, and this is very common in Lucha Libre and wrestling, that they have their feud, and then they finish their feud, and they can be tag teams, and they could be El Grande Americano, El Grande Mexicano, and they could even take inspiration from the masks of like famous tag teams in Lucha Libre, like El Santo en Blue Demon, Mil Máscaras and Dos Caras, and have their masks similar, like referencing those tag teams. That would be really good. Would you have Rey win the Mega Championship before he retires? No, not really. I don't see why. I don't think it would help anyone actually. I mean, it would be a huge moment at the moment, like when it happens, but I don't see the point other than just give him the Mega Championship because he was never a Mega Champion, but he couldn't be a full time luchador in AAA. So yeah, I mean, from what we're hearing, I read today, I don't know if it's true, that he was going to retire this year, not at WrestleMania, but at another later event. So if he doesn't have that much time because of injuries and all of that, I don't think it would help if he won the championship. I mean, it wouldn't help the status of the championship. That's what AAA used to do before WWE bought them. They would give the championship a lot of times. Well, more so like 10, 15 years before to legends sometimes. And it was like, well, they wouldn't do anything with the championship. It would be more like, oh, it is cool that a really popular wrestler is the champion, but it doesn't do anything really. Yeah, Undertaker is doing a great job. Ripping the mask happened. Yeah, it has happened, but I think they haven't used it at its full potential. Like they do it when the match is really fierce and you can tell they're tired, and then they rip it, and so they're all sweaty. Sometimes they have blood, and it looks really cool. Like, but I haven't seen them do it like they did in regular AAA matches before. Yeah, I remember it did look cool, but I'm talking about even cooler visuals. If you have seen them, it's difficult in those matches that are short. It should be in a match that is long, so they look like really tired. You can see the pain in their faces and how tired they are, and they're sweaty and their hair is all over their face. That's when it's really cool. And if they have blood, even more. I love that spot, especially when they are bleeding. Yeah, I think the issue with ripping the mask off is the fact that we know exactly who they are. Yeah, but there's a way of ripping it that you don't see the full face. You only see like from here to the top. So yeah, I mean, there's a way of ripping it, like they go like this, and you can see a lot of their faces. There's a lot of cool pictures of wrestlers in that state. Only 1 hour, yeah. But I wasn't looking at the clock, so I didn't notice. They should let them use the sword. Yeah, that would be interesting. Would you have Rey Mysterio? No. It was Destiny. Yeah. The Chad Cable versus El Mexicano match is the only one I want to see. Yeah, I mean, in Mexico, people want to see other matches, but that's the one they're waiting for to be announced for a Triple Mania. And like I said, they could do 2 matches, one in WrestleMania for the name, and then one in Triple Mania for the mask. And then we could have the end of the feud. Do you think they should do the Apuesta match at WrestleMania? Well, like I said, I would like a WrestleMania match for the name. Then it could be El Grande. The original should win, and then the second one could become El Grande Mexicano. So when they face in Triple Mania, it would be El Grande Americano versus El Grande Mexicano. I think that would be a really good match. Taylor Bate. Do apuestas outside of Mexico count? Yeah, they do. When Rey Mysterio lost his mask in the United States in the 90s, and he was supposed to put his mask on the line a week later in Tijuana, and the commission was like, no, you already lost your mask. And even then in the 2000s, when he was using the mask again in WWE, and there was going to be an event of WWE, like a live event in Mexico, they had some issues with the commission because the commission was like, you already lost your mask. You cannot be using your mask in Mexico. But they arranged something, and it was okay. People already know. So, yeah, but they do count. Tyler Bate is one of the best pure baby faces WWE has. And he's, like I said, he's doing a better job. At least this week, he was doing a better job with the character. Probably he's finding his way of doing things with the character. Rey should lose but he already lost his mask, so I don't see. I think what they should do is just a regular match, and like his retirement match, and Rey lose to Dominic, and then Rey taking off the mask and giving it to Dominic as a sign of, okay, it's your turn to continue with our legacy. Hey, you did an awesome job of streaming. Thank you. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. I see. I really appreciate it. Raimi Butler, thank you. Really appreciate your words. Like I said, I don't think Ray will lose his mask. He already lost it. It would be for Mexican fans. I think it would be like, come on, like you're playing with us right now. If you're trying to say you're gonna lose your mask, even American fans, I think would be like. But I don't know for American fans, since it's not the same, it doesn't carry the same weight. The mask, it will be like, yeah, just do it because we want to see him lose the mask again. But for Mexican fans, it will be like, come on, it's not. It's sacred. You already lost it. You can use it, okay? But we know how you look. So, yeah, it's always a shame when a wrestler was over with their own gimmick in the indies, yeah, or in their own country, but WWE doesn't know how to translate. Yeah, I think they're doing a better job now. Like they let them keep their names and like gear and everything. And sometimes they do make changes, and it's for the better. So, yeah, sometimes it works. But lately, I think they're letting them. They can tell like they're already doing a good job, so let's let them continue with that and then naturally develop or change or make changes to their characters and gimmicks. My thoughts on pre-WWE AAA, like I said, there are some differences, but I do appreciate that there's more order, like there's more structure in the matches and in the spots and in their storylines. There's a lot more structure, but because before they would have indie wrestlers in the events, but they didn't have a contract with AAA, so they would start a storyline, but then the indie wrestler would be like, "No, I have other commitments, and you're not paying me enough." So they wouldn't show up in the next events, and then the storylines would get lost, and they would try to go back to the stories 3-4 months later. But yeah, and right now I think what WWE doing is with AAA is doing, it's a little bit harder because they're trying to work with what they have, but that is giving it more structure and there's more storylines that are developing. And like we saw today, like even in the matches, there's more structure. So there are good things, and some other things that people are like, well, it's not the same AAA, right? Because of all the madness that used to go down before. There's a photo of Bloody Desperado wearing 1/4 of a mask that is Sora. Yeah, those visuals are amazing. Thank you. The sweet, well, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but YX50Q. I really appreciate it. I think Dom could wear a mask, but like he has done to come out to the ring. Yeah, because like he never had a time where he wore a mask as a wrestler and then he lost it or something. So it would be pointless at that point. But I think it's a really good visual when he comes out with a mask. That would be really good if after his father retires, if he could come out always with a mask and different designs of a mask. I think that would be really cool. Thank you. I tried to share with you what little I know of Lucha Libre. I've just been a fan. It's not like I've studied it. I do research for the videos, but it's not like I studied Lucha Libre. Everything is just from watching it since I was like 6-7 years old. He never been seen unmasked. Yeah, but people have seen Rey Mysterio from videos on YouTube, so they know how he looks. And he comes out in a lot of photos without his mask. Like for him, it's not the same as Mexican wrestlers because first, he already lost his mask. People already know how he looks. So I think for him, it's more like he looks cool with a mask and he looks better with a mask. But it's not like he's worried about his mask as regular luchadores who have never lost their mask. Yeah, Triple Mania for a couple of years in AAA was a mess. Remember Conan? Yes. Yeah, Vampiro saying, "Where's my music? Hit my music. Where's my music?" And he was waiting for his music to hit so he could go into the ring. He was standing right there in the commentary table. That I don't know why he did that. He should have just gone to the ring and that was it. But he was screaming, "Where's my music? I want my music." And he was standing just looking at them. "Where's my music? Where's my music?" And you could hear him because he was in the commentary in English. I don't know why he did that. And still, like, yes, like every Triple Mania before the last one was a mess. Like in a lot of matches, you didn't understand what was going on. Sometimes you thought like, that's it. Like that's how the match ends. That's one thing that AAA and even CMLL have always struggled with finishing matches. Like having a good finish where you think like, okay, that's the end. It's, I don't know why, it's really difficult for them. Like even like I said, in CMLL, in AAA, they, a lot of their matches, even the most important matches, even with in the last video where I mentioned El Volador Junior versus La Sombra. If you're watching the match and you see the move they do, you wouldn't think that's the end. You would think like, okay, that's another move, and the match is gonna keep going. And the thing that happens because luchadores don't have finishers. They really don't have finishers. They have cool moves. They do. They have spots like Pagano, the front flip to the outside, but they don't have finishers. So it would be really difficult for them to finish matches. You would think like, well, that was the end. Okay, it seemed like just another move. But the one thing they have to change in AAA, I think, is them having finishers, which they're trying to do, and you can tell. But the finishers in Lucha Libre, they have never existed. So a lot of matches, the endings look or seem anticlimactic. You'll be like, well, that was the end. That move, like there were a lot harder moves before, harder spots. Okay, so yeah, it's something that Lucha Libre has always struggled with, I think. Yeah, Ray looks like a baby. He looks younger. Thank you, Mahavi. I hope I'm mentioning and pronouncing it right. Tag teams I'd like to see make an appearance. Well, some of them have it already. They're the Motor City Machine Guns. Is that the name, right? Motor City Machine Guns. Right? Yeah, they were already in AAA. I really like them. Another tag team. Well, now it will be interesting to see Damien Priest and I forgot his name, but of course Ron Killings. But help me, what's his name? Ron Killings and Damien Priest. I forgot. R-Truth, thank you. Yeah, R-Truth. Now that they are champions, they could come to AAA. That would be really good because I don't know if you knew this, but R-Truth was already in AAA many times. When he was in TNA, he came with Samoa Joe and what in AAA was called La Legión Extranjera. So basically, foreigners who would come alongside Conan. And yeah, so R-Truth was in Mexico many times in AAA. So that would be a good way now that he's in his final years. I think it would be really cool to have him there just because people really like him in Mexico and he was in AAA prior. So yeah. How tall can mini wrestlers be before being classed as a normal luchador? No one knows. Because we have really short luchadores like Mascarita Sagrada, Cuije, who was more like a sidekick or a luche. And of course, mini. But for example, mini Abismo Negro, he almost looked like a regular luchador. So no one knows. There was a time where there was almost a mini for every main eventer. So mini Cibernético, I think there was, mini Charlie Manson, mini whatever. And a lot of them looked like regular wrestlers who were just a little short. Like some of them, I'm sure, were taller than Rey Mysterio, and they were still called minis. So yeah, no one knows. The biggest improvement in AAA now is the cameras. Before, yeah, that's something that before CMLL has done really well for many years now, like the production side. But again, because they have their arenas, they can implement whatever they need and want, and so their angles and the quality was really, really good. But in AAA, they didn't do a really good job. You would miss a lot of the action. But now there's again more structure. It's more clear. It doesn't change every week. So yeah, that's a really good change. Yeah, what main roster superstar would you like to see in AAA? I mean, we would have to think of one wrestler who would do a good job, like who would fit in AAA, right? Because if I said Roman Reigns, yeah, it would be cool to see him there, but he wouldn't fit the AAA vibe, right? So I think, for example, Chelsea Green definitely hits the AAA vibe because she's kind of funny. And in AAA, humor is a huge thing, has always been. So I think someone like Roman Reigns would be like, I don't know. Danhausen for sure would be a great fit for AAA, like appearance-wise. Kid Wilson, again, this flamboyant character. even I think like if we were talking like a huge wrestler in AAA, I would think maybe CM Punk, but if he came in like a rudo way type of character, like coming and saying, "Hey, I'm the best. Give me your best," and then having a great match or at least a long match with a luchador where they end up bleeding and he ends up ripping the mask of a luchador. I think that would be like a one-time appearance would be really awesome, but not keep coming back and going as an ongoing thing. But yeah, like the top wrestler, yeah, I think CM Punk. But also, I'm biased. CM Punk is one of my favorite wrestlers. So, but I just think he could fit the pipe, right? As K Quick. K Quick. I don't know who K Quick is. Doesn't ring a bell. Let me check. I mean, I think I know. Oh, K Quick R-Truth. I thought he was a. I don't know when he came here. I don't know what name he was using. I would have to check, but it wasn't R-Truth for sure. Mankind, yeah. CMLL do mini wrestle? Yes, they do have mini wrestlers in CMLL. Mini Dragoncito, like Último Dragón. You know Último Dragón probably. There's a mini Dragoncito. I think he lost his mask like 2 years ago, but they do have a minis division in CMLL as well. Lucha House, yes. Cody Rhodes would good. Yeah, he was in AAA, but it wasn't he wasn't the Cody Rhodes he's today. And I think there's some wrestlers who would feel out of place. So him with his Cody Rhodes persona here, I think would be like, wow. But and I think he wouldn't fit the pipe as much. Even when he came with AW, he didn't really fit the pipe. He was more like, I don't know what's happening here. It seems weird because I'm so like this, and I use a suit and tie, whatever. I really like Cody Rhodes, but I think someone like CM Punk would fit the vibe better. Chad Gable should be mini Americano. Yeah, I mean, if Kaiser gets to be the main Americano, Chad Gable definitely could be the mini Americano. Yeah, probably R-Truth came as Ron Killings. It does ring a bell like that. Is there a lot of wrestlers that go from AAA to CMLL or vice versa? Yeah. I mean, there's always the ones that stick in one place for a long time, but they still, like, especially before, you would have some people like Mr. Niebla, who was a huge wrestler in CMLL, and then went to AAA, as well as Shocker. I need to make a video again also about Shocker. Shocker was in CMLL for a long time. He lost his mask there. He was a huge draw there. And then he went to AAA. The Gronda, we mentioned Gronda, he was in AAA, and then he went to CMLL. Even wrestlers like Averno, Averno was one of Mystico's greatest rivals. He lost the mask in CMLL. He also went to AAA, and then he went back to CMLL. So yeah, it does happen. It's common. Do the minis the full bodysuit like the bear? Like the bear? I don't know which bear. The bear one wrestle. The minis in the full bodysuit. I don't know. I don't remember any minis in. But what do you mean the bear? I don't know. The bear one wrestle. The minis in the full bodysuit. I don't know, like what luchadores are you talking about? But yeah, they do have like Mini Olímpico, Shockercito. They had like Shocker, and then they had the Shockercito. Oh, like maybe like the Torito, you mean? Yeah, I don't know. CMLL Bear. I don't know which one you're talking about. Torito. Yeah. I don't know if they have some. Yeah, well, they have like one that it's like a bird. He like his mask is like a parrot, I think, but he doesn't wear a full suit. Yeah, I don't remember any full suit ones. Kemonito. Yeah. Kemonito and Kemalito, right? A bear. Yeah, he is like a bear, but he's blue and yellow. Yeah. Yeah, Kemonito. He doesn't wrestle. The original one doesn't wrestle. The new one he has wrestled once, I think, against Kemalito, which is his evil version. Really bad decision by CMLL, honestly. People really love the original Kemonito, and they are taking advantage on the fact that people don't know that there's the original and the new one. They just see him and think, oh, it's the same one. But no, like in Kemonito, the original one, no, he doesn't wrestle. He originally was the sidekick of Tinieblas as a Luche. Then his son took over the Aluche gimmick, and then he became Kemonito. He was having more time at CMLL, like he was having more work as Kemonito. So he told Tinieblas, "Hey, I cannot keep being Aluche with you." But his son is the one who is Aluche, and his other son is the one who was in AAA. His name is. He was also in the CMLL. Yeah, he's basically a mascot, Kemonito. He would just go out with wrestlers and be like there and dancing, and now his other son, who was in Triple Mania, and he faced Microman. Microman is also the son of the original Kemonito. There's actually, if you didn't know, in Netflix there's a mini documentary of Kemonito. You can tell he tells a little bit of his story. Yeah, Kemonito. There's a clip of Ultimo Guerrero just hitting his head and then giving him a drop kick and throwing him off the ring. It's really funny, but I think it was really painful probably as well. Del Mesias, Vampiro. Yeah, I know people are asking for Mesias, Vampiro, and these other wrestlers, and I will make a video about them for sure. Don't worry. But I'm trying to focus on Mexican wrestlers right now. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this week's next Friday we're having the Místico video. Probably after that we're gonna get La Sombra video, and I want to make one about El Mesias as well, Vampiro. But there's also like Psycho Clown, the Psycho Circus, Pagano, and like I said, I can only make one video a week. So, I mean, just those, it's like 2 or 3 months of videos. And probably also I'm gonna make videos of the what's happening, right? So if one Mr. Iguana, I have to make a video as well, as Toxic as you're requesting. And I'm gonna make videos of all of them, just probably not right away, but I will make videos of them. Yeah, Kemonito got drop kicked. Yeah, I mean, Kemonito was not able to do anything. Like, what was he gonna do? Like, he could just do a spin, and thankfully, he didn't fall very bad. But if you watch the video, he falls, and then I think it's Shocker who receives him, and then Kemonito just raises his head and goes like, no, like he couldn't believe that happened. It was really funny, but poor Kemonito. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate also your patience. Like I said, I'm gonna be making these videos. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere, but it's gonna take time, right? So, but just this year, we're finishing March, and we still have like 9 more months. 9 times 4, it's gonna be like 36 more videos. So probably this year you're gonna see one of your favorite luchadores. But I was gonna keep going with AAA luchadores, but people were asking for CMLL. And I also like CMLL, right? So I wanted to make a video. First of all, because for me, he's one of the most underrated. I've seen him live a couple of times, and I even have a picture with him from a few years ago. I was planning on putting it on the video, but then I saw no point. Like, people enter to see the video, not me, right? So, but I do have a picture with him. And so yeah, I was gonna make, and I'm planning on making more CMLL videos. I still have to do, of course, Atlantis, Mr. Niebla is one I want to do, and also take into account I'm gonna make videos from luchadores that I know a little bit more of. So those are gonna be the first ones, because at least I know I have some reference. I've seen them, and eventually I will do videos of luchadores that I don't know a lot of. But also like El Santo, Blue Demon, Mil Máscaras, all these luchadores, they deserve videos. And my purpose is to make these videos so people in the rest of the world can know of them. Because I know in Spanish, there's a lot of YouTubers who make videos about these luchadores. But I hadn't seen videos in English from a Mexican fan who knew about Lucha Libre. Like I said, I'm no expert. Please don't think I'm an expert. I'm just a fan. but I hadn't seen those videos, so I saw an opportunity there to make videos in English, and I thought people would appreciate that it was a Mexican fan speaking, not someone who probably did their research, but probably doesn't know, like having hasn't gone to arenas and hasn't been in events live and many times, right? They probably gone to a couple, but yeah, that was my idea, and just make these videos so in a few years people are still watching them and discovering these luchadores. And so when a kid who right now is a kid and then becomes a teenager, he wants to learn about El Santo and all these wrestlers I'm going to make videos about, they at least can get a video of someone who can pronounce the name right. At least, right? So yeah, that's been my purpose. That's what I want to do. One thing I also I'm hoping is that I get to go to one of AAA's and CMLL's big events and record. They like make a video about that, going there. And I've gone to Arena Mexico. I've gone to a lot of AAA events, even the ones that were televised. I've been there, but I haven't gone to a major event. Like I haven't been to a Triple Manía, a Verano de Escándalo, Rey de Reyes, or an aniversario event of CMLL. That's my hope. Maybe I even get invited. They're inviting YouTubers from Mexico, from AAA. They invited a lot of YouTubers from Mexico to go and make videos there. Of course, they make content in Spanish. But I'm hoping, well, maybe someday I get invited to and make a video in English for you guys to see it from my perspective and explaining, because I think I'm a fan of WWE as well and AEW and all that. So I think I kind of understand what you would like to see and what would be different and how things are different there from here. Because I've been watching WWE as well since I was like 10 or 9 years old. So more than 20 years. So yeah. Let me read a little bit more. Yeah, thank you. So I appreciate you liking the videos as well and sharing and commenting. All of that helps. Yeah, he could save himself, but he generally doesn't even flail in the air. Well, because his hands are really short and his legs are really short. He could do it. He was helpless, honestly, like, poor Kemonito. Uh, he was a toy, like he was like a teddy bear, right? Um, well, Mil Máscaras and Dos Caras were not my generation, but I'm gonna make videos of them because I did see Mil Máscaras live as well as Canek. Canek, I have to make a video about Canek because people know of El Santo, they know of Blue Demon, they know of Mil Máscaras. Not a lot of people know about Canek, who was the one who received American wrestlers when they came, right? People also need to know about El Toreo de Cuatro Caminos, for example, where Owen Hart lost his mask. Also, Chris Benoit lost his mask here in Mexico. The time Chris Jericho was here in CMLL. There's a lot of history, but Canek, for example, Canek lifted Andre the Giant before Hulk Hogan did it in the United States. And there are pictures, and I think there's even video about that. But people need to know, and these wrestlers, these luchadores deserve to be known by fans. I'm not saying even the casual, but these luchadores who did great things in Mexico, they need the recognition because they deserve it. Because of they did it. I'm not talking about the people they are behind the masks. I'm talking about their personas and luchadores, and they need to be recognized for that. And that's my hope. And it's my way of giving back to Lucha Libre, who has given me a lot of evenings of fun and events with my family. And to me, it's like giving back to Lucha Libre. Yeah, I didn't know about Rumble Saga. I'm gonna look him up. Sam Adonis has a YouTube channel. I didn't know that. That's cool. I saw Sam Adonis here live once. He wrestled Psycho Clown in a televised event. Actually, you can watch it on YouTube if you search AAA Chihuahua, and it's from the AAA official channel. There's an event like 2 parts. And you can see the matches they had. I even appear. I appear in that in those videos because I was close to the. I'm sorry, I forgot the word. I was close to where the luchadores go by, and so yeah, I have screenshots of me in that event. I'm wearing a Bullet Club T-shirt, so yeah. Super Astro years, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know about Sam Adonis either. Seeing your videos have been very helpful, but it does kind of suck that I discovered your channel so soon. Yeah, I know. So the purpose is that in a year, people discover the channel, and there's like more than 40 videos of different luchadores and events and stuff. So yeah, I know people who have discovered me. Like right now, we're like 3,000 subscribers. I know for you, like I was telling my wife that for you guys, it's like a TV series, right? You're watching a TV series as it airs every week. And there's going to be people who discover, like when you discover a TV series that has already ended, so you can binge watch a lot of episodes. So I'm sorry for you guys, really, but I really appreciate your support and you being here, for example, in the videos. You're going to have to be watching videos every week, but I appreciate that. Like, honestly, it's 2 months since I uploaded the first video. And it's weirdly enough, it's 1 month since the video started to pick up. Like 1 month ago on February 21st, the channel had the first day with more than 100 views. But nowadays we're having thousands of views every day. So I really appreciate that because it's been only 2 months. I was hoping that in my wildest dreams was that we would have these results by the end of the year, and it's only been 2 months. So praise God! I really thank God for that, and I really appreciate you guys for tuning in and supporting. My family, who is always watching the videos and the comments, they are surprised by the support of you guys saying like, "Hey, keep doing videos. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Can you make this video?" Like they are really surprised because I know the community, but they didn't think that the lucha libre or wrestling community would be like this, would be so supporting. So it's also speaking well of the community. I really appreciate it. AAA will bring in Kanek's son. Sure, if he's a good wrestler, for sure. Like Kanek has two sons, right? So the older one, I don't see a future for him in AAA. But the younger one, maybe if he does a good job, for sure. Sam Adonis, I don't know why I have asked the same thing. Like I asked myself the same thing. Why Sam Adonis was a huge part of AAA in the last 6, 7 years. He had huge feuds with Psycho Clown and other luchadores. I don't know why he was not taken by WWE. There must be a reason there, but I don't know. Yeah, the entrance, near the entrance and the that little hallway they walked by. If you watch the video, it looks very empty because it was an open area. Like it was where they do their rodeo. It was at a fair, so they had the event where the rodeo takes place. So if you look at the background, it looks empty, but it's because people were behind the camera where the sun was not hitting you on the face. But it looks like it's empty. It's not, but yeah, it was a very bad. The event was really good, but the look, it was not good. Rey de Reyes en vivo Rey de Reyes lo puedes ver en Fox One o en YouTube si usas un VPN también. Wasn't Sam Adonis gimmicks political? No, he was the classical foreigner who comes and says United States is the best. You are poor people. You are a third world country. That's a gimmick that's been repeated for decades now. It's nothing new. It wasn't political at all. Like, people already know the gimmick. So yeah. Yeah, so Sam Adonis, he is wrestling AAA wrestlers in the indies. So AAA apparently doesn't have an issue with him wrestling his luchadores, but I don't know why they haven't brought him. Probably he would be a great addition in a way for sure, but maybe they're thinking of how to bring him. But yeah, and he could, I think, a great idea, and people were asking for him, like a couple of years, were asking for him to be a mega champion and represent AAA in WWE. So I think that would be a great idea to have Sam Adonis come back and maybe be a technical and then represent AAA in NXT and SmackDown and Raw and speak and be like, hey, I have my homies here who are luchadores, and I don't know, bring 2 or 3 luchadores, Octagon and whoever you want, and say they might not be able to speak to you in your language, but I'm going to say it for them, and then give a really good promo. That would be really cool. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's because of his personal life or something. No idea. And he was doing the modern Gringo Locos. Yeah, and remember, I don't know if you knew this, but Sam Adonis was first in CMLL. He also lost his hair in CMLL. He lost his hair in AAA. That's an easy way to get a big check. But yeah, and he was first a long time in CMLL. He was one of the top heels, rudos in CMLL. What do you think about Hamburguesa being fired? He appeared last night. He appeared in the Crash. You can look up the Crash, Lucha Libre, and that's a promotion in Tijuana. And he appeared there as Burger Boy. I thought it was a meme because people tend to do those memes when wrestlers, luchadores are fired from certain companies. People make up like what their probable name would be now that they're outside of AAA or CMLL. I thought it was a meme, like it was fake, but no, he debuted in the Crash as Burger Boy, and he went out with Alberto Del Rio. He helped Alberto Del Rio, who is not having a good time right now. But yeah, I mean, it's a consequence. They have to put an example, set an example, and he was the one chosen because he hit a fan with his elbow, like in a bad way, like he was with bad intent, and the fan didn't touch him. He was the one who touched the fan. The fan was saying things. He was screaming things, and luchadores here in Mexico always say the same thing: "Call me whatever, yell whatever, scream whatever, just never touch me." That's what luchadores always say. And this fan didn't touch Niño Hamburguesa. He screamed something that he didn't like, and he fell on him. It was like elbowing him. And the fan, people were like, "Oh, that was not hard." The fan said that he had like this part, it got not, it wasn't not like purple, but it was, I forgot the word, but yeah, it got bigger, like a ball. Inflamed, I think. So yeah. Never say never, Marvin. We have seen some tribal from the big office before. We could see Ludwig Kaiser maybe. Asano Sabo, thank you for your video. Yeah, because of your video and AAA, I have been getting better with my Spanish. Yeah, it's a great way to practice for sure. I learned a lot of English through wrestling. No, Conan is not related to the Crash right now at all. The owner is another guy. The owner is a guy who used to, like, he started from the bottom and then he created his own promotion. He never wrestled or anything, but he started from the bottom of like receiving luchadores at the airport, taking them places. That's how he developed a relationship with them, and then he created the Crash. But Conan is not related; like he's not involved. Glad to know there's a lucha equivalent of what so and so doing in the Impact Zone. Yeah, I don't know about that meme. What so and so doing in the Impact Zone? The elbows looked pretty brutal. Yeah, and he's heavy, and of course, like, I think it doesn't look that bad because the fan was using a mask. But in a statement they put out, because they are YouTubers or they make content on Facebook, and they said like, yeah, we were screaming stuff and we were having fun. We never touched him, and he actually, like, his this part of his face got inflamed. Not that bad, but still, it's because people were saying, "Oh, he barely touched it." They were like, "No, it actually hurt, and it was not bad." Yeah, swollen. It got swollen. That's mouse. It's different than when LA Park was fighting with fans that wanted to touch him. Yeah, exactly. LA Park was like, I've hit fans, but because they touched me first. And of course, he was not in any big company at the moment. He was not in AAA or CMLL with contract. But yeah, LA Park, even lately, last year at El Hijo del Santo retirement event, he hit a fan like 3 times. But he was like, they were touching me first. So that's why I think people would have justified it in Niño Hamburguesa if the fan had pushed him or something, but he didn't. So they had to set an example, because it's very common. It happens. In Mexican, wrestlers need to know that they're being serious because they are representing AAA and WWE in these events, and they are being recorded all the time. So they have to be more careful. The only time WWE allows wrestlers to hit fans if it's in retaliation to something. Yeah, exactly, because they're defending themselves, right? So even legally, they're like, he touched me first, I was defending myself. But here was not the case. No, the Crash wasn't created by Conan. Yeah, like he, when he was involved, he was like, yeah, I'm the face and I created and I'm behind everything. But now he was just more like creative, but he didn't own the Crash as far as I know. Conan was booking the Crash. yeah, so he was booking there and he was part of creative, but he never owned it. Do you think we see more LA Park, La Parcas in AAA, like the LA Park and the son of LA Park and LA Park Jr.? Maybe, why not? Uh, I think LA Park, he could, but I don't think, well, the thing is, I don't think AAA would gamble with LA Park uh, because they know who he, like how he is. Like I said, last year he was hitting fans still. And even though we could say it's, he was defending himself or it was justified. I don't think AAA would gamble with that because yeah, it's a bad look. So just imagine if American news outlets were like, "Hey, WWE has a wrestler in Mexico who keeps hitting fans again and again." It's not a good look. So that's why they have to be very careful with the luchadores they choose because of what could be can be said in the United States. So yeah, just taking that into account. Yeah, and LA Park makes more money in the on the indies. Yeah, so he's not. I don't think he's interested. Probably his sons are. I think his sons are good wrestlers and they have charisma. But yeah, they are the ones that I could see coming to AAA and maybe being involved in an angle with La Parca or something. Yeah, it could happen, but probably not. I don't. I don't know because it could be dangerous if they look better than La Parca, who's already getting traction. It wouldn't be a good look. Yeah, in MLW they got blacklisted. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I think they said it was because he was disrespectful, but I don't know. It's shady, I think. Yeah, fans have always confused La Parcas, like even with the Jesus Escobosa, with Chuy. People who saw him in a clip or something, they thought it was the same. And I don't know how people can think it's the same, honestly. Like the new La Parca, you would have to think he has like the secret to the forever youth or something because you can tell the new La Parca is really young, like just from his body. And yeah, so that's something. And what AAA is doing, from what we heard in last Rey de Reyes, they attributed the wins of the Rey de Reyes to the character. So they said La Parca, who has won 5 times Rey de Reyes, and they acknowledge it's not the same wrestler, but the character has won 5 times. And so they could eventually say, yeah, you might remember La Parca character in WCW and the chairman, but this is a new iteration. So yeah, they're just gonna keep them as one character by different people, but they're really different. So I don't know if I like that. Yeah, LA Park has been fat for a long time. Honestly, that's what even American wrestlers have said. Like yeah, he's a big guy, he's tough and he's stiff. And then in Mexico, he's like he gets made fun of in lucha libre circles in Facebook and meme pages because he's so fat. Like they say, like he swallowed La Parca. But yeah, it's funny. Like he understands that. He understands that, and he goes along with it. Uh-huh. Yeah, the new La Parca, he's not small. I think it's just I think the gear makes him look small. One, he's very tall. He's like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to use centimeters or meters because probably it's going to be confusing. But he's really tall. He is tall, and I think he's athletic, and he looks thinner because of the black colors. If he was wearing other colors, I think you could see that he's not actually that he's not thin. He's not. He's not small really. When in the Parka videos, I put an image of him before he got the Parka gimmick, and you can tell he's not small. Like he's athletic, but he has big arms and everything. It's just that he looks tall and slim. But yeah, yeah, he's slimmer, but he's not small at all. Yeah, but yeah, he's a skeleton, right? Like that's what a lot of people with the second Parka even were saying, like, well, he's supposed to be a skeleton, but he looks kind of fat, so it doesn't really make sense. It's just fun. Yeah, he's part of the Alvarado family. In the La Parcas video at the end, I explained what his previous name was, his relation to the Brazos, and being a cousin of Psycho Clown. They are family. Okay, guys, so I think we're gonna be finishing the stream for today. It's been more than 2 hours. Thank you for getting it on the stream and watching with me. If you're fine with it, I think it's gonna be easier to make the streams than to create the videos for the recaps, because the recaps they take like 3 hours to, or 4 hours, like record, edit, and publish. And I rather use that time for the video of the Friday, like for the video I'm gonna make of the wrestlers of that week, than to spend it on a recap video, right? And it takes a long time. So I think it's better. I rather spend 2 hours here with you live and talking to you and explaining and you asking questions. I think I rather do that than create the video. So thank you for being here. Thank you. It was the first stream. Thank you for being in the first stream of Lucha. No, Let's Talk Lucha. Yeah, so thank you for that. I hope I get better at it, and we'll see where it goes, right? It's just starting. Like I said, it's just been 2 months. I really appreciate you having you here and having 16 people. At a point, we were like 30 people. Awesome. I really appreciate it. I thought it would be like 5 of us. And if it had been 5 or 3, that would have been fine. I don't mind. I really like talking to you guys. So yeah, but we're even more people. So thank you for that. And yeah, look out for the Mystico video this Friday. Hopefully, God willing, I'll be able to put it out this Friday. Yeah, so that a comment for the algorithm. Oh, thank you. Yeah, just helping. You guys are helping a lot with the algorithm, with all the comments you leave here and the videos, the likes, subscribing, all of that. That really helps, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, I'll see you next week if you're fine with that. If I can do it, we'll be able to see the third week of Rey de Reyes. Probably the best match of the whole event is going to be next week with the Laredo defending the championship, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'll see you. Thank you. Gracias. I'll see you next week, guys.